Hello, students and alumni. Today I'm talking with Julianna Gonzales. Hi, Juliana.
Hi,
How are you?
good. How are you?
Doing pretty good today. You're still in Dillon right now. Today is May 12th.
Yeah.
So tell everyone what you graduated, what your degree was in from Western.
So I graduated with a biology degree with a pre-med option just
Okay.
on Saturday.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
It was anticlimactic, right?
Very, to say the least.
Very. Well, everybody's still proud of you guys, even if it wasn't a walk down the aisle, we're all very, very proud of you. And I know I'm sure your parents and family are as well.
Well, thank you.
Yep, you bet. So let's if we go back to block 7 and when we had to start dealing with the COVID restrictions, how did that how did that affect you? I mean, how have you been since that happened?
Well, I don't know. I feel like it all went down really quick. We left for spring break and we
Mhm.
were saying, we'll see you in a week. And then during that week, we just kind of never came back. So that was very weird.
Right.
And then I came back to Dillon and everyone was just gone. So that was really weird too. Everything just was very weird, definitely. And I've been bored.
Yeah.
I've
Well,
been ready to go do things.
I can totally understand that myself. And then so for block 7, were you in a class?
I was.
And what class were you taking block 7?
I was taking advanced cell and molecular bio.
Okay.
Mhm.
And tell me what you thought about taking that class online. How did that work for you?
Well, I think Morrow, he definitely was super beneficial in that whole transition. We still had our lectures every morning. He moved a whiteboard into his house and so really tried to keep it as normal as he could for us and so we could still get all the information. So I think that was super beneficial. And so I feel like I got the most out of it that I could
Mhm.
in the situation that we were in, definitely.
Right. So having a professor that was, willing to be creative to make
Yeah,
it
and yeah, he
meaningful.
definitely helped.
That's great. And that's obviously, as a pre-med student, that's a very important class for you to take.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So what happened on in block 8 then? How
So
was that?
I took a class that was actually completely outside of my major. I took a psychology class,
All right.
and that was different because I'd never really taken a psychology class, so it was a whole new experience. We didn't really meet at all, and so we just read, and it was really different, but it definitely got my mind thinking in a different way. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so in other words, you haven't taken psychology, so most of what you were taking were biology and physiology
Yeah,
type stuff.
yeah.
Oh, well, there is another aspect of the human body, right?
Oh, definitely. The mind is crazy.
And so that was probably, yeah, a really good thing for you to experience in that class.
Yeah.
So writing a research paper for that one?
I did kind of. It was behavior modification. So we did
Oh,
a research project on ourselves and kind of wrote up about it.
oh, how interesting.
Yeah.
You can save that and look at that in the future for reference.
Yeah. Definitely very helpful.
See how you change over the time.
Yeah.
It sounds super interesting. I really think it is. So let's go back to when you decided what you were going to do after graduation. Do you remember when that was?
Um, well, I guess I really didn't definitively decide until this last semester. I kind of went into, came to Western knowing that I wanted to go to med school. But as I learned more about it, I just got really overwhelmed. And so I didn't really know if that was what I wanted to do. It was a really big commitment. And then I did my internship and I realized that I really loved it. And so I was all in. And I decided that this last semester that that is what I'm going to pursue.
Right. I'm thinking, well, I think of you as in particular, and then another student who I know fairly well that at the same time they just gradually worked themselves up to it.
Mhm.
to deciding that they were going to undertake something major like that?
Yeah, definitely a big decision.
It is a big decision, but I feel like I've seen your confidence grow and the other students' confidence grow as the blocks went on, as you learned more, as you succeeded in the classwork. It's like, well, maybe I can do this. Maybe this will happen for me.
Yeah.
That's really great. I mean, that's fantastic. So med school is in the future.
Yep.
And when does that start?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm gonna take a year off. I'm currently in the process of taking the MCATs and applying and all that stuff. So I'll do all that this summer, and
Okay.
then I'll have a year off to work and hopefully be going the previous fall.
Okay, that sounds great. So have you some ideas of where you want to apply yet? Just curious.
Yes, I want to apply to the University of Washington,
Okay.
and I haven't really looked at any other places. I've thought about Penn State a little bit. I shadowed with a doctor who really recommended that. And so, yeah, I'm kind of still exploring that as well.
Now, those both sound like really exciting places to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how do you think, or let's talk about the kind of work you want to do for the next year. Tell me a little bit about that. What that is that going to look like?
Yeah, so I'll be working at the hospital, the Benefits Hospital in Great Falls. I've been doing that ever since I've been in college, and so I already have that lined out. But then I'm going to get phlebotomy certified and work at BioLife as well. So,
Oh, wow, great. Is
sure.
well, is that a lab within benefits or a separate?
No, so that's just where they do plasma donations.
Oh,
I
okay.
could get phlebotomy certified and work in the lab at the hospital, but this
Mhm.
is kind of just like a different aspect of it, I guess.
Mhm. Absolutely. And it's great because it's just going to give you more experience and things you can talk about when you apply for grad school.
Yeah.
And applying for grad school is really like very similar to applying for a job. So
Hmm.
if you can take not only the knowledge that you have with your Bachelor of Science degree, but also that practical experience, well, it definitely makes you more competitive in getting into med school. So, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. So,
Yeah.
I just want to ask you because I've known you for a while, and I know you've worked at Benefits. I think it's one of the most amazing healthcare systems in the state, and I've had experience up there in Great Falls. So you were working as a CNA, is that correct? Up at
Mhm.
the hospital for how long have you been doing that?
This will be my fourth year.
Wow. Okay, so now do you have to get recertified as a CNA, or is that just continue and you can do it as long as you're
As long as you work, you do have to get recertified every year. You just have to have proof that you were working. But it's really easy. You just do this thing online, get
right?
recertified.
Right. Okay. Oh, okay. Right. I think I know what you're talking about. Those certifications that the
Yeah, for
state.
the state. Yeah, not at benefits, but just
Mhm.
as long as you've been working, you don't have to do anything else. You just have to.
Yeah. Well, having that certification definitely um, gives you a higher wage. I know that CNA work is highly sought after because there's a lot of things that a CNA can do now in the healthcare field that frees up time for registered nurses and licensed practical nurses. And that's what I remember you telling me about, Juliana, is that you one time you thought about being a physician's assistant.
Yep, I did. That was my other path that I was kind of seriously considering.
Right?
Yeah,
You just like, boom, let's just forget that and let's go for it.
yeah, pretty much.
That's really, really great. The CNA, though, that experience, again, just keeping you more competitive in med school applications. So, yeah, that sounds really, really great. So, when you start working at the hospital, I mean, you'll be having to wear the PPE and everything, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
What do you think that's going to be like compared to how you used to be, um, you know, taking care of patients?
Well, I don't know. I see a lot of patients that are put on precautions, so you have to wear PPE anyways to like enter into their room. And
Hmm.
so it's not like we don't deal with it every single day. It's just we don't have to wear it all the time. So that's going to be different. But dealing with the patients probably won't be any different because we do see patients in isolation all the time.
Mhm. Was that a dog?
Yes.
Is that a dachshund?
Yes.
I know somebody else who has one that looks a lot like that. Is your dog and Bailey's dog related?
They're not. They do look really similar though.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Okay, well, back to it. So up in Great Falls, I know there was some COVID cases,
Mhm.
and so yeah, that's why I was kind of wondering, how have things been with your family during all of this time, and just life in general up in Great Falls?
Well, I don't know. My mom and my grandma both also work in healthcare, but they work on in more like an office side. And
Right.
so they just have had to cut back work, so they've just been a little bit slower. But then my dad, he works in agriculture, so nothing has slowed down really. Farmers don't quit, so
Right.
let's just push on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have less exposure to other people though too, don't they?
Yep.
Say that's helps not only others but him as well. So that's great.
Yeah.
That's really, really great.
Yeah, we were blessed. Maddie.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so a female, and what's her name?
Maddie.
The other one's name was Melody.
Mel, yep.
That's funny. All right. Well, I'm going to let you go, but I do have one last question. So,
Okay.
so you took some time. You decided that you're going to do this. You're still going to wait a year and just get until you're ready, and then start making the application. What kind of message would you give to the underclassmen coming up? And that might even be just opportunities at school. And I'm not plugging the Learning Center, but I am saying that you were a great asset to the Learning Center as a tutor. So what kind of message would you give to those students coming up and thinking about your future, and what you can do now for the future?
Well, I would definitely say be involved. Just get involved as much as you can because it will just help you so much coming out of college. Your degree is just not everything you need. The experience is what they look for. They're not just looking at people with a degree. It's all about experience now. And so it's really hard to find a job after you leave college unless you have experience. So
Right.
just getting involved with things just to add to your resume and then having really good relationships with your professors. That helped me so much, definitely. And being a tutor, that was definitely beneficial.
Yeah, that works both ways. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm definitely going to be missed because I had four science tutors graduating, and that's devastating really to the Learning Center. And you guys have been so strong for the last 3 years. So yeah, I'm definitely interested in talking to those science students coming up who maybe want to teach STEM classes in the future, or they want to go into med, or they want to go into vet science, all of those kinds of things. It really is helpful in remembering what you've learned. You know,
Yeah.
I think
Okay. And do internships. Do lots of internships because that's
definitely. And
before you're a senior.
like you said, that's what really changed your mind about it, was getting that hands-on experience.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And your professors helped you. Well, you knew Great Falls already, but I know many professors will help students get those internships as well.
Yeah.
And that's really great. That's really great. Well, I'm definitely going to miss you, Julie, and I can't wait to touch base with you in the future and see how things are going.
Yes, I'm gonna miss you too.
I hope you have a great summer, and be safe, take care of yourself, and
Mm.
yeah, it'll be great to catch up with you. Oh, we should try and catch up in August or something like that, I'm thinking.
Yes, definitely.
And maybe there'll be a time I can come up and we can go to Sonic.
Yeah.
Would love that. All right. Thanks so much, Julie, and
Okay.
congratulations again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.